Okay. I checked real quick, and it is jumping into the pit like I remembered. That is the point of no return. So after we do this, we're probably gonna ignore the main quest for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we're here. We might as well pray because we have things to do before we jump into that pit. But right now, let's just look around here because it seems really fun and interesting. Ooh, a lot of books. Oh shit, we got to do our reading episodes. It's gonna happen one day, guys. Maybe after we do this, we'll head back to Defiance Bay and start doing that. Final Journal of Jonas. Haven't we read that before? Yeah, I know that one. Interesting that that's here. Nice little library of things, I guess. Luminescent Adra Shard. It's a quest item. Shattered and charred stone blocked the passage into the sun and shadow. Alright, so that's oh, I guess this is it here. Let's go ahead and make a hard save here. I don't know why. I hardly ever use these when I do them, but seems important.
Magnificent.
Ooh. That's really cool looking. And to break our immersion. Let's see what this is. A whistling in the reeds. In the Zimital Plains, Zokin Lake is renowned for its beautiful flowers that grow along its banks for several weeks every spring. Local farmers harvest the flowers for a spring festival in all of the nearby villages. In the past 3 years, 4 people have gone missing during the flower collection. No one has seen the abduction take place, but people in the area have reported hearing a high-pitched whistle from within the tall reeds. When the abductees are discovered days later on the shore of the lake, they appear to be happy and smiling, but unaware of the world around them. The blissful victims never recover from this state, most dying within a few weeks. The philosophers at the monastery near Zokin Lake have advised local rulers to seek outside help with the problem. You go. Okay. Alright. So, Abaddon, Magrin, Galawain, Hylia, Bareth, Skane, Andra, Rimgrand. Who are these people? A piercing ring fills your ears as you near Whale's shrine. There is no other response, so he just doesn't like us. I'm guessing one of these is Aothas. Maybe this one. Nothing happens when you approach Wodika's shrine. No? Where's Aothas then? He's just not here. Interesting that you can't worship Aothas. Well, I mean, we know who we're going for, right? We're going for this group. It's interesting that these three are together because we helped Abaddon out too, which is awesome. The only one we haven't helped out is Galawain. But Magrin, Abaddon, yep, over here. Before the shrine sits the constellation of a snarling hound, fangs bared. Wait, no, I wanna. Can I not worship? I wanna worship Magrin. Pray to Hylia. This is gonna be Barath, yeah. Guess I can't. Is there any way I can like spend this or something? I don't know. Who's this gonna be to? Rimgrand? I don't even know who that is, to be honest. Well, they said I had to, if they're not alone, I'd have to pray to like all 3 of them, right? Alright. Galawain is with Magrin, so. You stand once again before the shrine of Galawain and the Hound's Head constellation, which marks the pedestal. From time to time, you hear a low, rumbling sound like a growl. Pray to Galawain. You kneel before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. All things can be reforged. There is life and death in life. Survival begins with strength from within. Live every note of life's song. Struggle in our fundamental nature. I sing of the ocean's sorrow so that I may forget my own. All life ends in stillness. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. What is an answer without a question? When Wodika takes back her throne, all wrongs shall be righted. Actually don't even know which one Mogren would be. Would this be the one we gotta go? Hold on. We have books, right? We do have a lot of books, I assume. Where are our books at? We actually don't have that many books. I thought we were going to have a lot more books now. Are there not that many books in this game? Are there books in, like, other sections? I guess we have a couple books in here. Weird. I would have thought we'd have, like... Oh. We have a ton of books. What was I looking at? Was I just looking at this part? I must have been just looking at this part. Okay, anyway. Excerpts from the Sermon of Struggle. Book of the Hunt. This sounds like what we need, right? When my students ask to be taught the way of Galawain, I tell them that they have already failed. Does one ask a deer to present itself as dinner? Of course not. One must outwit, outmaneuver, and overpower the deer if one dreams of venison. So it is with the secret god. To ask a question is weakness and idle indecision. To seek answers is to understand and to become one with Galawain. Survival begins with strength from within. But I only strike my students when they ask the second stupid question, for all of us begin young and weak. It is a point fact, and not one of shame, an essential tenet of Galawain's teachings. Perseverance and cleverness are prized by Galawain above brute force, a fact my young pups often forget. It is right and proper that the strong lead the weak, and it is equally proper that the strong be continuously tested until the balance changes. Galawain celebrates the strength of the victor and the prowess of the well-fed predator, but above all, the clever hound celebrates the transformative nature of strength. Galawain's greatest desire for us is that prey becomes predator, mewling babes grow into strong hunters, and the lost find their own enlightenment. This philosophy is best exemplified by the rites of the Anamfatha of Ir-Glanfath. When one of the Glanfathan spiritual leaders is old and nearing death, it is customary to enter the woods and confront Galawain's herald. If the secret god finds that Anamfath's life, deeds, and soul worthy, the reward is a quick death, and his soul joins Galawain's pack. If deemed unworthy, the Anamfath is killed, his soul forced to find his own way to the next life, and his memory erased from the records of the tribe. Survival begins with strength from within, and weak leaders endanger the whole pack. This is Galawain at his purest. Even at the end of life, one must struggle for worthiness, for greatness, just as one must struggle every day to feed his pack. The secret god is easy to understand if one actively engages in the quest for knowledge, but his secrets are self-occluding to those who merely ask, desiring knowledge without the requisite hunt. My own flesh and blood once asked me, will learning to hunt please Galawain? I told him yes, but added, Galawain would prefer that you hunt to learn. Huh, that actually makes Galawain sound kind of cool. Alright, pray to Galawain. And survival begins with strength from within. That's definitely what we need. I was between these two. Struggle is our fundamental nature, but I think it's this one. The air around you stirs, and a gust of warm wind blows across the back of your neck. You catch the faintest smell of wet earth. As you kneel in front of the shrine, you feel yourself pushed forward. You catch yourself on your hands and knees, feeling warm, damp ground beneath them. Looking around, you find yourself crouched in a clearing in the middle of the woods. The smell of dirt hangs heavy in the air. Behind you is a darkened room filled with candlelit shrines. Ahead, you hear the howl of some kind of hound. You feel certain this is a vision, but the hairs on the nape of your neck still rise. Howl back. The beast bays in response, its voice high and clear. The thick undergrowth shivers with movement, and heavy paws pound the wet grass. You're not certain if the creature is hunting or leading you, but you instinctively give chase. As you tumble through dew-speckled bushes and clawing brambles, each stride feels longer than the last. You draw lungfuls of crisp, clear air and feel your energy renewed. The rhythm of your stride and the thumping of the beast's paws drive the blood thrumming into your ears. You speed ahead, following the hound's cries, when a split-finger pine crashes to the ground in front of you. A massive bear lunges into the gap and roars. It catches sight of you. You turn and race in the opposite direction, leaping over the fallen tree trunk. Pine cones crunch underfoot. The bear lumbers after you. Its hot breath washes over the back of your neck, filling your nose with the rank odor of slaughter. You see a clearing just past a thicket of broadleaves and sprint toward it. As you break through the foliage, you see a massive lioness curled up in the clearing in front of you. With a last burst of energy, you divert your momentum and hurl yourself into the bushes. Any second now, you expect to feel the bear fall upon you. But a furious roar on the other side of the clearing draws your attention. The bear stopped at the tree line. It swipes the empty air with claws large enough to rend armor, but it does not advance. Lioness, for her part, twists her body into a tight coil. She growls, her ears pressed against her head, but she makes no move to attack the intruder. Kana gives a breathless laugh. Incredible! Have you ever seen beasts so large? I'd like to carry this appreciation for them into the future. Let's see if we can't slip past now. You back deeper into the foliage, keeping your eyes on the two mighty predators. As you crawl backward, the heel of your hand brushes something firm. A warm sigh grazes your cheek. You freeze in place, slowly turning your head to see what waits behind you. Two amber eyes shine in the darkness. Perhaps we ought to take our chances with the bear. The eyes meet your gaze, briefly, then turn to the standoff in the clearing. The hound behind you yawns, fangs flashing. When you turn back, the lion and the bear have disappeared. In their place is a stone wolf's maw, gaping wide enough to swallow you whole. Beyond it is the outline of a temple, towering but indistinct. Blood must feed the maw, watcher. See that a true champion reigns. Turn back to Ter Evron. Travel to the stone maw in Galawain's vision. Didn't we hear something about a lioness? Like in one of those dialogues? Okay, so we have a task set by Galawain. Can we get, like, other tasks? We wouldn't do any other ones. We want to talk to Magran. That's our primary goal. And Magran is with Galawain, it seems. And if we help Galawain, that will be the third of the three gods in that pantheon that we've helped. I mean, I'm assuming we've helped Magran. We're a priest of Magran, so... I guess we did. We helped her with the lighting of the statue torches. And obviously Abaddon, we gave his memory back, so he should be happy with us. Okay, so we need to find the stone maw. I think that might be up here in the Blood Sands. Are you sure of what you claim? I hoped that the sacrifices would have waned. Okay. Up here? A supplicant. The clear waters taste sweet and refreshing. Okay, let's go into here. It is a stone cave, right? Like, that could be considered a maw. We're looking for lionesses, bears, and stone maws. Maybe a hound, too. I don't know. Man, it's dark in here. Keeper Garost. The Ethic Knoll welcome your presence, supplicants. Hi. A dwarven man stands motionless near the roaring fire that lights the cavern. Your sacrifice feeds the land, supplicants. Come forth. A gust of smoke curls around him, licking the charred flesh that bulges on his forearms. They suddenly flex. Estremor, the dwarf holds his fists in a tight grip. Your kin doesn't come here to share with the tribes. What do you want? What is this place? Blood Sands. The dwarf picks on his scarred forearm. His guttural sigh mingles with the cracking of wood and bones behind him. As I said, Estremoran rarely visit our halls. The Glamfathans call this place Blood and Sand, or Blood Sands. We call it home. The Ethic Knoll have tended the land from within this cave since before the arrival of the tribes to Twin Elms. Garost crosses his arms. Be warned, Estremor. We bleed life to nurture it. Our sacrifices may strike you as savage. But the health of these lands depends on them, and it's unseemly for guests to insult their hosts. I didn't dream of it. Tell me about the sacrifices. Garros spreads his stocky legs apart and locks his forearms. Everything must die to return anew, Estremor. Through the sacrificial rites, we offer supplicants the honor of giving their most precious gift back to their brethren, back to the land. The dwarf lifts his fist, thick and mottled by red scars. The blood gives us strength. Even the Glenfathans have come to depend on the blood paint. They brim with power before battle, all thanks to the sacrifices of our kin. Their kin, rather. Tell me about Ethic Knoll. Our order has thrived for generations. Before we came to Twin Elms, our rites fed the lands of the eastern mountains. Now we share blood for Ir Glamfath. Was that share or shed? Share blood. I can read right. Look at me. Garros opens his palms. Strikes of red skin run through them like flames. To everything that must end, our sacrifices bring a new beginning. He looks up. We sustain what's to come. Goodbye. Remember, Estremor, you're a guest in these halls. Respect our ways, and we'll tolerate your presence among us. All right, I shall do my best. Smoke curls up from the charred skeletons. The smell is nauseating. Yum. Essence taken by force may sustain one, but essence given freely empowers many. All right. Hello, Talon. There is no greater honor than dying for one's tribes. If some fall in battle, how is this different? Okay. That's stealing. We will not steal. That's mean. And let's just keep going left. Looks like this is actually a pretty extensive place. We're looking for... Guys, keep her word, huh? Hello.
Estremor.
The elderly dwarf blinks at you, not quite looking at you. Her eyes are pale and clouded with cataracts. Welcome to Blood Sands. It is rare that an Estremor sets foot in these caverns. Her sightless eyes fix on you as she tilts her head. What brings you here, I wonder? What do you do here? I sell and maintain certain goods for the preservation of our order, and I perform some of our ritual sacrifices. Something more? How do these sacrifices work? Like any worthwhile ritual, it's too complex to explain in detail. It involves clotting the supplicant's essence, binding it to their lifeblood, and drawing it into a container or vessel. Tell me about Blood Sands. This the raw, bloody heart of Ir Glamfath, where some come to give their essence back to their people. Her dry lips bend into a sardonic grin, where others seek a noble escape from their trials. The legacy of the builders to the tribes was not merely Adra and stone, but a sense of community. It is here that Glamfathans come to sacrifice what is most precious, even their own lives, to preserve it. What you got for sale? More potions? Is that all you guys ever have is potions? Don't you guys have any guns? I swear, it's going to be the most disappointing thing about this game if I don't find a goddamn rifle that's really cool. Earth Blights. Yeah, so it feels like I could definitely attack this place, which I don't want to do. I really hope I don't have to. The bravest sons and daughters fall. Damn it. Fall not by the swords of Estremorin, but by the daggers of their brethren. So... how do you guys feel about human sacrifices? I don't know. I don't know how comfortable I'd be walking around in this place. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's stealing. Well, it's just traps, you know what I mean?
Let's see what lies this.
You know, just arm, you know, get a little bit of experience. You know, just take a peek inside. Okay.
Hey.
Nothing we need. Those bloody footprints? What are these? Oh, it's leading us there. So, like, if we couldn't find that, we'd be kind of told that there was something there. Hello. Archdruid, Reston. Oh, hi.
As your blood flows, so shall your essence. Your life's energy shall feed the soil, and your soul's energy shall enrich the community. This is by your own choosing, supplicant?
A dwarven man stands on a raised platform. Beneath him, an elf lies prone on a stone table. As you get closer, you hear the dwarf speak in a gravelly monotone. Yes, the elf's voice is high but even. The dwarf grips a hatchet with both hands and raises it over his head. He throws his shoulders forward and swings the weapon into the elf's chest, connecting with a meaty thump. Blood gushes around the blade, and the sacrifice's screams rend the air. Aric's shadow. She looks over her shoulder at Kana. I hope you weren't watching. Despite his earlier agreement, the elf thrashes atop the stone table, his torso arching while his arms and leg remain tied in place. Meanwhile, the dwarf spreads his arms wide and allows blood to spatter his robes. When the elf is finally silent and still, the dwarf pulls his hatchet from the body and wipes it on his hem. Kana makes a disgusted noise and turns away. I think I preferred these rites when there were only words upon a page. Why did I look? It's not as if I didn't expect it. Yeah. It's an interesting concept, right? At least they're not sacrificing people who aren't willing, right? I mean, I don't know, it kind of goes into the whole concept of like assisted suicide, right? Like, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough concept. It's a tough concept to get behind, obviously. Streaks of red, brown blood and globs of tissue have worked themselves into the minute grooves of the stone. Hello. The dwarf wears crimson robes that are stained and streaked with dark patches. His face is smooth, but lacking youthful elasticity. It is as if the lines and wrinkles have been formed and erased many times over. He watches you with eyes like two black pits as he wipes his hatchet on his robes. Hail, Estramore.
No one comes to Blood Sands without a purpose. What is yours?
His voice is deep and rough-edged. It echoes like a river in an ancient cave. Who are you?
I am the Archdruid of the Ethic Null. For centuries it has been my duty to guide our rituals and guard our knowledge. It is work that requires a certain resilience, but it is not without its benefits.
His black eyes glitter. Reshton's eerily smooth face is motionless as he watches you. Tell me more about Ethic Null. We are a Druidic order that has been in Twin Elms since Inquithan times. Our founders came from the White March, seeking a place where we might practice our beliefs in peace, as it were. Unlike most of our Glenfathan brethren, we seek answers in the world around us rather than in the teachings of the gods. We believe that all life has power, and that this power can be siphoned and conducted. We are not, as some suggest, madmen and murderers. All of our rituals are conducted with willing participants, and through methods that have been tested and refined over centuries. He nods, his black eye shining. This allows us to create the war paint for which we are respected, if not loved. I want to know more about your sacrifices. A guttural laugh rumbles from his throat. We merely believe that in giving up something of value, the energy that the sacrifice can be delivered elsewhere. The energy from the sacrifice can be delivered elsewhere. It is not so different from what folk practice all over the world. If you want to turn the soil, sail a ship, or move a cart, you must expend energy. He smooths his robes, but we're best known for our practice of kith sacrifice. This is the most potent form of sacrifice because it releases the most energy. We distill the essence of an entire soul into raw power that can strengthen the body, fortify the soul, and extend life. More than a little different from a sailing ship, Kana squirms. An interesting perspective, even so. The Glenfathans are never half-hearted in their superstitions, are they? What's war paint? A special, unguent, binding raw energy to the wearer. It grants incredible advantages in combat and has made us indispensable to the tribe. Whatever they say about our practices, almost all of them have made use of the war paint at some time or another. A slow smile spreads across his face. Fascinating indeed how the most strident objections can be overcome by circumstances. I'd like to buy... Can I buy some war paint? I'm no merchant godlike. Talk to keep a word. She's around here somewhere. I didn't see war paint in her inventory. Maybe I didn't actually look at her inventory. I just saw potion symbols. How are you different from the Ovates of the Golden Grove? A dry laugh rasps from his throat. Golden Grove. I remember when Arona came up with that name. It gives you a darkly gleeful look. It used to be as green as the rest of the forest, you know. We're more similar than they'd like to admit. We both believe in achieving power without the double-edged aid of the gods. But their fantasy is pure creation, something from nothing. They blind themselves to the fact that all life, from the mightiest dragon to the slimiest blade of grass, or slimmest blade of grass, requires death, and the greatest ends require the greatest sacrifices. An interesting thought. I'll have to ponder it further. Some sacrifices are simply too costly. That's just the way the world works. I refuse to believe that. I agree. I just make sure I'm holding the knife. I'll have to ponder it further. A wise enough sentiment. That's all I wanted to know. Farewell. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's their custom. As long as they're willing sacrifices and it's their custom, like, I'm not gonna get involved with that. Like, obviously, if I ever created my own custom, I would not have human sacrifice be part of it, but, you know, to each his own. Fire sacrifice chamber. Essence within to nurture flesh, and essence without to strengthen it. Will you guys just jump in the fire? The heat emanating from this pool threatens to singe the flesh from your face. Alright. I can't talk to any of you, right? Okay. What's down here? So we'll go this way. Wonder if I should be stealthing and sneaking around. Nah, I mean, these guys are good people, it seems like. The gift of sacrifice transmutes blood into water and essence into power. Thicknol, ... Just as the flesh... I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Just as the flesh of one nourishes many, the sacrifice freely made strengthens those that will come to us. Of course. You're, of course, right. Strength. The blood of sacrifice... Damn it. The blood of sacrifice waters the soil of Irglampath for the ones that will come to us. Say everybody else. Must be some sort of prayer they've got going on here. Okay. This does not seem like where there would be a lion and bear, huh? So we'll have to keep looking. They got a little place here. Hello, Naka. The petitioner before you is swaddled in loose-fitting robes. Her hair is greasy and matted. A glossy film of sweat and grime coats her exposed skin. She has the swollen features of pregnancy, and several missing teeth in her big, grinning smile. As you approach, she slowly turns to you and examines you from head to toe, smiling the entire time. Joyous day to you, she says. Despite coming from a wearied body, her voice sounds resonant and relaxed. I am Naka, midwife and lore keeper. Her hands run across the slight bulge in her belly. She rolls her head back and sighs a relaxed purr. Are you feeling well? Flawless, she replies. Apologies, I should be left to my meditation. The rite of strength is invigorating, almost overwhelming to the senses. She reaches down and cradles her belly in her hands and turns away. Alright. Well, good for you, I guess. You have anything else to tell me? No. Okay, well, see you guys. I assume, like, if you... I don't know. It seemed like that was a place where you'd fight things, right? Just by the layout of the place. But, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to fight them eventually. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. We shall find out eventually. Okay. So. I guess we're done in this region, right? I mean, I don't see anywhere where there'd be a fight going on. Unless I missed something in here. I don't think so, though. Okay, well. let's go to the next area, which I think is Elmwood. Is that what it's called? Keep wanting to say Elm Shore, but that's a different place entirely. Old Song. What is Elmwood? I don't know. Alright, yeah, let's go to Old Song. Oh, there's a... Old Song is it's a stone wolf head. That sounds like where we need to go then, huh? Okay. Mr. Gallowayne. Pray to Gallowayne. Howlback. Something leaps from the bushes behind you. You find yourself pinned onto your back and staring into the amber eyes of a massive hound. The beast looks at you. Gleaming fangs protrude from the sides of its mouth. Its nose twitches as it inhales your scent, starting at your shoulder and proceeding down the length of your arm. You follow its nose to your hand, which is covered in blood. A tongue as red as meaty as a steak lolls out of its mouth and swipes your bloody hand. Its lips curl into what looks like a smile. The beast looks back at you, and as it fixes you with its glowing eyes, its muzzle retreats into a long, bearded face, and its pointed ears lengthen, dropping to the sides of its head. What was a massive hound becomes a giant of a man, his broad, muscled shoulders draped with furs. He holds a flint knife to your neck and grins, revealing a row of long, pointed teeth. That's one way to make an introduction, I suppose.
The lioness reigns still, and soon her cubs will rise. Why did you strike the bear down?
His voice is a growling whisper. The lioness had found an advantage and held it. Her cunning made her the most deserving champion. Soul's cubs will be mightier still one day. That legacy must be protected even from the worthy contender. If Oneros could not seize his victory, he did not deserve it.
As always, you sniff out the heart.
Hell yeah, I
of the
do.
matter.
As always.
Worthiness is proven in conflict. Might grappling with might. Flesh tears, bones break, and the ones that mend are stronger still. Blood mixes, and the worthier substance rises to the top. And you have proven worthy.
The changeling throws his head back and closes his eyes, breathing deeply of the cool air. He lets out a howl that rings through the air. He lowers his head, puffs of steam rising from his panting mouth. Twigs crunch and branches snap. The ground shivers under the weight of pacing, prowling footsteps. A dozen beasts, bears, wolves, and long-fanged cats, stalk out of the undergrowth, their matching amber eyes fast on you. Some of them look real soft. I bet I could tame one or two. As the beasts encircle you, their master rises to his feet. Even the largest of the bears can only reach his browned and muscle-knotted shoulders. You stand mindful of the ring of predators surrounding you.
You sought and won the favor of Gallowayne. What new prey do you now pursue?
I hunt Theos.
To track a quarry, you must understand its movements. And Theos follows the path of a more powerful master.
Gallowayne, the changeling, bares his sharpened teeth again. A warm breeze carries the smell of smoke and gunpowder. Sparks ignite and float in the draft, catching in the leaves over Gallowayne's head. A sudden blast of heat scalds your face. And even as you turn away, a flash of light sears your vision through your eyelids. When you look back, you see a woman in full plate standing next to Gallowayne. Her mirror-polished armor flickers with images of reflected flames. You can't see her face, but her voice is strong and clear, like the ringing of steel. Man, I wish Durrance was here with us. It's Mogrim.
Let her know her
Hi.
flow.
Theos has trapped thousands of souls in sun and shadow like rabbits in a snare. Now, he goes there to retrieve the kill for his master, Woodiga.
One of the bears paws at the ground in irritation, its hackles rising.
She will feast on them, suck their marrow, grow strong on their essence.
The god closes his eyes and inhales deeply. As a Stelgare watches you, it licks its lips, its tongue scraping long fangs. Why would Theos help Woodiga?
Because he is her hound. He has always done her
His eyes
bidding.
dart to another figure standing just behind Magrin.
Woodica stands for an old order. So does Theos.
Her helm pivots sharply toward him. A golem made of blackened, pitted iron steps out of Magrin's shadow. Its movements are slow, yet precise, each footfall accompanied by the groaning and grinding of metal. The steady orange glow of furnace coals emanates from its eye sockets. In Abaddon's crude yet efficient form, you see an uncanny resemblance to the eyeless. Yet his limbs are more finely wrought, his joints more flexible. That's cool that we get that little piece of dialogue. You also feel the essence of the eyeless teeming within him. Oh, cool.
They both fear change, and the Deerwood has changed much recently. People find answers not in the gods, but in animancy, the product of their own
A gear
labors.
clicks within its jaw, and Abaddon speaks.
And why not? When they have learned that even a god can be
Reflected
killed.
flames shiver in Magrin's armor. She says that like it wasn't her followers that unleashed the Godhammer. What should I do about it?
Track Theos. Follow the trail he has left for you, and corner him in sun and shadow.
You must stop him before he empowers Woodica.
And if you do, you will have a different decision to make.
Gears whir and clink as Abaddon gives you a slow nod. Pelagina narrows her eyes. Experience with superior officers tells me this decision has a right and a wrong answer as far as the lot of you are concerned.
Souls were ripped from the world, ripe and full and pulsing with essence. Scatter them like bones to a pack of dogs. Their essence will strengthen the souls of the Deerwood. Let the remains of the dead feed the survivors.
One of the wolves slavers, barring his teeth in a wide grin. So he wants us to use the stolen souls to strengthen the current inhabitants? Why would I feed the lost soul's essence to the rest of the Deerwood? If Woodica can accomplish this, then perhaps she deserves her victory. I don't see why I should care. Now I've got to find Theos. Why would I feed the lost souls to the Deerwood?
To breed strength. Power is born from the mixing of essence and blood.
The wolves snarl and snap.
What Theos did cannot be undone. Thousands of lives have changed, and thousands more have ended because of his actions. But transformation gives purpose to trial.
A plume of flame ripples across her breastplate.
And improvement is the goal of all Kith. Long lives, prosperous futures, stronger minds and bodies. Strengthening those who remain will help repair the damage that Theos has done to the Deerwood.
I thought you served the cause of preservation, Abaddon.
Essence cannot remain in a dead body, any more than oil in a broken jar. Even though the stolen lives cannot be preserved, their essence can be used to ensure the survival of the Deerwooden remnant. Thus, the memory and vision of the lost may live beyond them. This is the nature of preservation.
If Woodica can accomplish this, then perhaps she deserves her victory. That seems like something Gallowayne would believe in, right? The bear at Gallowayne's side rises on its hind legs and roars. It falls back on all fours with a ground-shaking thud. Gallowayne points his chipped flint dagger at you.
A victory that leaves her ruler of all. No room for conflict, no struggle, not even between the gods.
Be careful what you wish for, mortal. Woodica's ways are regressive. Her laws never change, her authority never ebbs, and she never forgets a slight.
Woodica would crush the Deerwood simply out of vengeance for the rebellion against Adir, her favorite. She would stamp out animancers, godslayers from the Saints' War, and anyone else she viewed as heretical or dangerous.
Anyone who might ask the wrong questions or seek out answers to the same. Kind of smiles wryly. We've posed a question or two ourselves, I think. Now, I've got to find Theos.
And when you descend the pit to Sun in Shadow, you can count on our assistance to see you safely through. As I hope we can count on yours when you reach the bottom. There are many souls upon the Burial Isle that are sworn to serve us. They belong to you now, and they shall guide your descent.
Thank you. Pelagina snorts and advances toward Magran. I've danced to this tune before. You'll count on us to deal with whatever's down there, and we can count on you to take credit for it later. The beasts growl. The beasts grow restless, pawing the ground and eyeing you with renewed interest. The bear sniffs at the ground next to your leg. One Stalgare skulks into the circle, its amber eyes glowing. Galawain hurls his knife between your feet, sinking it to its handle. He raises his empty hand.
Hunt him, mortal. And when you stop him, let the souls he has captured feed the deerwood.
Strengthen the souls of those who remain. Prepare them to face the challenges that will follow. Pledge that you will do this, and we will grant you a power fit for the finest warrior who ever lived.
Betray us, and my beast shall track you down. Our allegiance is not to be accepted and cast aside.
The player in me says number 3. Because we want to hear what they all have to say. Klezia would not do that, though. There's only one clear option she'd pick here. Her goddess is talking to her. And is asking her to swear her allegiance to her. There's only one option. There's only one clear option. I pledge now that I shall convert the captured souls into essence to strengthen the deerwood.
The bargain is struck, Watcher. Keep your
I kind of wish we had done all the other gods first then. I did not know we'd be able to talk to all of them. Hopefully we can still talk to all of them and say no when they tell us what they want. But I do want to talk to all of them if we can. Galawain lunges for you and sinks a hatchet into your chest. You cry out, but the pain passes quickly. Energy and power seeps into you through the wound, and when Galawain withdraws, the flesh knits again to contain something warm and pulsing with power. Klezia was granted Galawain's boon. The vision vanishes in an instant, returning you to Tir Evron, where burning candles replace the glowing eyes of Galawain's beasts. The old queen and the new king. Interesting. What did we get?
Eh?
Is it this? What is Galawain's boon? Galawain's boon. What's it do? Galawain's boon. 1 might and 1 athletics. Okay, that's kind of shit, to be honest. It's okay, but like, you know, I mean, I expected a little bit more from a god, but whatever.
Of course.
Okay. Council of Stars. So descend the pit. Okay. I agreed to use the souls to strengthen the deerwood. So we are going to do that. Court of Penitence. Travel to Burial Isle. Okay. But we still have some things to do here. Still have quite a few quests to do before we finish the game. So probably still got another 10 hours, I'd say. Which is lining up nicely. It seems like it might line up almost perfectly with, or perfect enough with, the Pathfinder DLC that's coming out August 11th. Hello. Stop right there. Oh,
Stop
okay.
right there.
I've stopped. The Phantom Soldier.
You're in the wrong city.
The Phantom Soldier raises his short sword to your chest.
Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home? I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
I have seen you light pyres with good people tied to them. People I'd known for many years. Really strange that they didn't finish the dialogue there. That's the exact point when the budget ran out. He seizes you by the throat, and your airway tightens. Whether real or imagined, you cannot tell. They deserve your confession. He raises the point of his sword, holding it a hair's breadth from your eye.
Suros, what are you doing?
New companion? That's my sister, Eovara. Startled, the soldier releases you immediately and turns to face the speaker, a woman in a plain wool tunic, fully a head shorter than he, but somehow seeming to tower over him. You have seen this woman's face before, but from afar, bloodied and burned, as she lay stretched across the iron wheel. At the moment, it is marked only with concern.
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady, daring to approach our camp.
If she is so poor an assassin as to approach an armed guard in daylight, I should have little to fear. I would hear what this woman has to say. She stares him down until he can no longer face her. He turns away, sour-faced, and pretends to be suddenly distracted by something far off.
My own sister. Returned home. I never dreamed this day would come.
Elvira's eyes widen as she sees your face for the first time. This is an interesting aspect of the game. The Awakened side is, who are we? Like, I've not really ever determined like what kind of character our Awakened side is. Do we want to just make them exactly what Klesia is? Like, personality-wise? Not really. I mean, there's an argument to be had that makes sense, perhaps. Although, looking at other Awakened souls, perhaps it doesn't make sense, right? Isomir is not like Aloth. All of Merwold's Awakened souls were not like Merwold. It's I don't know. I just wanted to see you again. I've come to help you in any way I can. I've come to believe in your teachings. The evils I've done in the name of the Inquisition are too great for me to bear. I want to help you to end it. I think we're going to lie to her. I think our Awakened person is fully enthralled by Theos' mission and his teachings and believes in it. And she thinks that her sister is, corrupted and incorrect and a threat to the correct way of doing things. We're going to go with number 4. That sounds the most interesting lie. If only there were a simple way to do that, short of converting the Grand Inquisitor himself. But maybe your coming here suggests we are not as far off as I thought. Where are you from, Inquisitor? What do you... sister. Around here, actually. Is that so? I meet so few these days. Many of my followers journey from other cities and kingdoms, and most of these soldiers were conscripted from the surrounding countryside. I welcome the thought of having someone around who knew Cretum in better days. This is strange.
I would like for you to stay here in our camp as my guest.
No longer able...
My lady Irvara, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to...
No longer able to remain quiet, the soldier approaches Elvira, and puts his hand on her shoulder, turning her aside. His voice is hushed, but by no means private.
This is a missionary, same as I was, taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one woman's ability to reason once she knows the truth, what hope do we have?
She brushes his hand away with the calm grace of the resolute.
We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come. We have much to talk
Elvira
about.
beckons you somewhere behind her. Okay. So we're looking to betray our own sister. We're great people. Also, it makes sense, right? Like, every sort of soul we look at seems to be quite bad. So, yeah. I think it'll be okay. Alright, but we're going to kill a dragon. And see what Hylia says. Hylia seems like a cool person. I do wish we had Durrance with us when we talked to Malgren. I think he would have said some fun things, but It's too late now. I think. I don't think we can go back and talk to them. Probably not. But it's dragon time. Wait. Solid iron bars block a dark passage. They don't budge. There doesn't appear to be any mechanism. What? Language is also sacred to our goddess. Something else you wish to speak of? Actually, I received a vision from Hylia. She bid me speak with you about the menace that's settled over the temple. A chanter named Dalam told me he could restore the district with his songs if I found some exotic birds for him to eat. She sneers. And if he told you that you could jump off Madmer Bridge and sprout wings, would you believe that too? It's a foolish superstition and nothing more. The queen of the birds blesses us with her attendants so that we can hear their songs, not eat their flesh. Hylia bears a dozen different faces. Ask 2 midwives and you'll get 5 tales, and none shared between them. The Orlans have a difficult time of childbirth. I suppose it's only fair they eat the Sky Mother's children in turn. I've had a vision.
A vision from the goddess herself? What a rare and fortunate blessing.
Indeed. Unwin squints at you. Your vision did reveal that the menace is a dragon, yes? She steps back and gives you a long look. To be honest, I expected the Sky Mother would summon a whole flock of warriors to fight this monster. I fear so few will be like sparrows attacking an eagle. But if Hylia has tasked you, then who are we to doubt? Unwin is right, however. You must prepare yourselves for a powerful and crafty foe. The nest and the dragon are perched atop a mountain beyond the Northweald. He points northward along the path. Follow this trail into the wilderness, and then look for another path carved into the cliffs. May the Sky Mother's blessing aid you. Oh, I thought it was going to be here. Well, that's fine. I guess it's probably better that there's not a dragon just right up there, huh? Aha! Okay. Well, off to the Northweald. 6 hours. We got to do this place, and then the temple place, and then we need to go all the way back to Defiance Bay, do stuff there. Need to do the Master Below. We got to do the Endless Blade. We got to kill the guy who's trying to take Kadnua from us, and the whole war that's, not happening. At the mercy of the tribes.
The figurine. It's glowing.
What? Oh, right. I forgot to have all my companion quests to do, too. Okay. What do we got going on here? After several more abductions took place at Zakin Lake, Devil of Karak discovered that a previously unknown beast was behind the attacks. A strange ruby-red beetle would grab the locals and feed on their worst memories. Though victims would initially fight back, they would quickly enter a blissful state and drop their resistance. Unfortunately, the beetle would eventually devour all their memories, leaving their minds vacant and broken off from the world. Devil of Karak was able to track the beetle to its nest and kill it. The locals were relieved to hear the beetle had been killed, but dismayed to learn that hatched eggs were discovered in the nest. As a parting gift, a philosopher from Zakin Monastery created a wand for Devil of Karak from one of the beautiful red reeds that grow along the lake. Awesome. Red reed wand. This wand was a gift from Zakin Monastery philosopher. He created it from one of the beautiful red reeds that grow along the edge of the lake near his monastery. It was given as a gift for your help in tracking down the dangerous memory-eating beetle that was terrorizing the locals. Awesome. Okay. Let's follow the road. Alright, let's go left. Hello. Should be no problem fighting those guys. Okay. Tracks long and shallow head east. They're speckled with blood. Track the Deerwood expedition to the eastern edge of the Northweald. Okay, looks like they're not doing too good, huh? Arrows crude and fletched with bright feathers protrude from the corpse. Oh, can I not loot it? I guess not. Okay. The inscription on this altar, almost unreadable under a layer of thick moss, pay homage to Hylia. Take that. I'm sure Hylia won't mind. Okay, I guess we're going east. The tracks and bloodstains continue further east. Okay. I guess we'll keep going east. The tracks and bloodstains continue further east. Okay, we got friendly boars there. There's something. Over here, hurry! Hi. Swyneth hides in the tall underbrush. Twigs poke out of her hair. Chunks of dried mud cling waist high to her leather leggings. Quiet, keep low. Take a look. She points up to the ridge. My friends are up there, over the lip of the hill. There were signs of battle at the camp. Swyneth nods. Her lower lip crushed beneath her teeth. I wasn't fast enough. Pox-ridden fangs. Margaret burned them all. What's going on? The fangs must have caught the scent and rushed the group. She begins to run her gloved fingers over her hair and stops. The pressure snaps one of the twigs, stuck on her black curls. Some of my friends are still alive, but the fangs have them surrounded. The expedition, Swyneth brings her hand back to her pommel, the pommel of her estoc, or what remains of it, has taken cover in some ruins above the cliff. The fangs must be toying with them, or letting them starve a bit before the next attack. We need to act, or they're as good as dead. How did the fangs get here? Swyneth looks down at her feet, shaking her head slowly. I cut a decoy path, set false campfires, and dusted over every footprint I could find. It didn't slow them much. I'll see what I can do. Swyneth nods. Maybe you can find a way around the fangs? There's got to be another way up to that ridge. She wipes away the sweat from her brow, her glove leaving behind a dirty smudge. You aren't dressed like my men. Perhaps you could try talking to the fangs? They might not think you're with us. She grabs your hand, squeezing it. Please help. I already have enough friends to bury. Swyneth releases your hand and crouches down into the vegetation, blending back into the brush. Not blending very well. I can still see her. All right, yeah, we could talk. We're pretty persuasive people, I think. I'd like to believe, anyway. Okay, so this is the end. So let's go up here. Hello.
Tread carefully, Estramore.
An elven woman stands beside a stag, petting the great beast on its neck. As you approach, the animal jerks its head in your direction and rears up. Stillness, the woman orders the stag, pulling on the skin of the stag's neck until it ceases to buck. Easy now, no need to fight yet. She turns to face you. One ear is missing its top half, and many battle scars raise her otherwise smooth skin. More foreigners, more unclean feet trampling on our lands, more blood to feed trees. She shakes her head. You should not be here, Estramore. Her hand moves to one of several blades strapped to her hip. If you are here in our lands, it is either to steal from us or to aid those who would. She gestures to the north at the ruins of Ingwithan buildings protruding from the underbrush. Deerwood and mercenaries, looters, can you hear their panicked whispers? Leave this place at once, or we will kill you when we finish with these Estramoran. I am a friend of Irglanfath. I am not with any Deerwood and mercenaries. I realize we all look the same, but I think you are mistaken. I'm a friend of Irglanfath. She holds her gaze on you. The great stag stomps its front hooves on the ground and turns to its master. Do you speak the truth, foreigner? If you're indeed friend, you would respect our lands and not defile our sacred soil with your trespass. The woman clenches her jaw. Its muscles quiver under the pressure until suddenly calm returns to her expression. If you have no bonds of kin or kith with the looters, I will give you a chance to prove it. She draws one of her swords with a swift arching motion, and points it to the ruins beyond. The invaders must be purged from our land. Prove your worth, and we will believe your words. Tell me about these mercenaries. Raiders, looters, same as all the others. Deerwood and thieves that pillage our land. The woman touches the oblique stub where half of her ear used to be. We tracked the deer woodens from their first step beyond the great river and waited for them to air. They always do. We claimed half their pack in our first assault. The cowards then that ran now huddle in the north. When the wind turns, you will smell their fear. If they surrender, will you let them live? Softness such as yours will not bring them to heel. Their greed knows no bounds. Their memory honors no history. What use have we of prisoners? What example did we set to others by letting them live? She shakes her head. Why would we forgive again? Because you soar where they crawl. The fangs deserve better foes than these wounded animals. Send them home with grave warnings for their kin. The woman gazes north, her mouth a twisted scowl as she ponders your words. The great stag nudges her shoulder, and she reaches up to scratch the animal's chin. Blood was spilled, and life sprouts from a soaked ground. She looks at you with a cold glare, mutters a curse under her breath, and sheaths her blade. We will let the raiders return headless. We will let the raiders return headless. Their leader must pay for their crimes. Only then may the rest go free. She waves her hand northward. Go. Deliver my message before I see the folly in my decision. Do you wish the leader dead? We wish their leader to be an example to the others. Sever his head, his freedom, or his family. Whichever will best warn others not to trespass into our land. Okay. Well, that's, I guess it's better than all of them dying, right? Not bad negotiations, I guess, depending, unless you're the leader. Mercenary Captain Esmar. Stop, friend or foe. The man in blood-soaked armor points his blade at you as his wounded and weary comrades flock into position behind him. A trickle of blood runs from a cut on his brow down to his neck, staining a locket worn on a gold chain. You're not Glenfathan. He tightens the grip on his sword's handle. By Mogren, friend or foe, I said. Calm down. I'm a friend. The sword still pointed at you. The man gives a sideways glance to his companions and nods. The mercenaries lower their weapons, a rare and welcome sight, friends, this far from home. He lets the weight of his sword lower his arm. He gives a concerned look to his mercenary company. Look at us, hiding in the rocks and holding in our guts. He points south. The fangs. They've bloodied us, and now we're trapped. Swinwith sent me. What happened? Resourceful girl. The captain huffs a chuckle before returning to his humorless frown. We assumed the Glenfathans killed her before coming upon us. I'm relieved she's alive. Doubly relieved she brought help. He rests his sword, still caked with blood, across his shoulder. The tribesmen ambushed us just as we made camp. The fight was a lopsided slaughter. Asmar stares at his feet as he finishes his thought. In the melee, someone tripped through the campfire. We were lucky in that regard. The stench of burning flesh and the choking smoke obscured the scene, and a few of us managed to withdraw. We ran to these ruins to regroup, but now we're trapped. The face painters are just south of our position, and they have us cornered. No doubt they're happy to let us starve while they rest and rebuild their strength before attacking anew. His left hand idly toys with a locket worn around his neck. Seems this is where we will be making our last stand. He mutters as he clinches the gold ornament. I convinced the Fangs to let you go, but you must bear the punishment for trespassing and be taken prisoner. Maybe I can help you get out of here alive. If the others are to the south, you can flee to the north. Can you flee to the north? Can you flee to the north? We could run that way, maybe. Maybe evade the Glenfathans if we're quick, but the captain looks over his shoulder and shakes his head. We've spotted a pack of Stargares up there. Given the options, I'd rather some face painters kill me right quick than die slowly bite by bite to a feral cat. He glances northward. If I didn't know any better, I'd wager those beasts are working with the tribesmen. But I'm sure they're just following their stomachs. Just look at us, limping on our injuries and covered in blood. We must smell like butcher's shop. I've convinced the Fangs. Asmar blinks and arches his eyebrow in surprise. Well, if anyone could have, I suppose it would be you, but creases around his eyes deepen with his growing frown. He looks at his locket and then lifts his eyes back to you. Prisoner? If it's the only way to save my men, I'll endure it. But whose prisoner? The Fangs will hold you captive, but in return, your men will be free. Rotting in a Glenfathan cage. Half wondering if death is the better option? He pulls the chain and locket off his neck and hands it to a nearby soldier. You know where this needs to go. The two men nod at each other. The captain turns to his company. Each of his soldiers stare back pale with fear. Asmar takes a deep breath, then raises his hand in the air. New orders! You are all to fall back. The expedition is over. Stow your gear and make for Defiance Bay at once. The mercenaries exchange glances with each other, waiting for the first one to obey the command. Are you deaf? I won't tell you again. Time to go. Now! Esmar's booming voice brings the reluctant mercenaries into action. Wounds are dressed one last time, camping gear is secured, and within minutes the men set off on their march, nodding at their leader in acknowledgement as they pass. It's my duty to see my men returned home. If that means enduring prison, so be it. I mean, it was more than prison, wasn't it? Poor guy. Well, they're all gone. So that's good. I wonder how she'll feel. Sinwith, her gloved hands half buried on the waves of her rebellious hair, watches you approach incredulously. You did it! Her dimples frame a beaming smile. She lets out a sigh of relief and wags her finger at you. We'll be chanting your name back in the gift. Everyone will know what you've done for us, I promise. Her smile cracks for a moment as she looks off to the distance. Don't know if we'll see Asmar again, but his sacrifices saved the expedition. We couldn't have negotiated our way out of this without your help. She scratches her cleft chin with her free hand and gives you a measuring look. But you're the type to deserve more than just praise. Coin, weaponry. She rubs her gloved fingers together. Or if nothing intangible suits your fancy, I'd gladly share my skills with you. I'd learn from your skills. Swyneth nods enthusiastically. I was hoping you'd say that. She removes the gloves from her hands, stowing them in her back pocket. When you spend as much time as I do in the ruins, you learn to strike first, and to strike without warning. She holds her estoc in front of her, its blade parallel to the ground. The key is efficiency of movement. Classier was granted Dungeon Delver. Huh. She walks you through several footwork drills that focus on quiet footfalls and measured breathing. Place all your weight on the final step when you're ready to strike. She yells for emphasis as she demonstrates a swift, silent lunge. So she yells with a silent lunge. Okay. As you follow her example, she nods in satisfaction. I think you've got the grasp of it. I'm honored I could teach you something new. She half curtsies and turns to take her leave. 3,000 experience. All right. What's that do? Look at us getting all these skills. I already forgot what it was called. Dungeon Delver. Plus 0.1 to crit damage multiplier. Plus 1 stealth and plus 1 to mechanics. Oh, that's actually perfect. I love it. Okay. Hey. Look at the map here. Let's follow this road up. Let's just explore a little bit more before I have to end the episode. See what else we can find. Maybe we can find Sagani's person. Jesus. There we go. Killed the bears.
Alright then.
Alright then. Elder Antelope. Alright, let's just get this all explored here. Keep going up. An Dragon. Oh, bunch of stuff in here. Let's go ahead and get a fireball going. You're gonna get that going. Do this. Everybody on this guy. Good. Move to the stone beetle here. Audra beetle. Adra Beetle.
Got him.
Watch it with...
Dragon.
Whose side are you on?
Edir. Oh, everybody on this guy. Here we go, Edir. Get your sword back out. Take all this stuff. Take all this stuff.
Of course.
What do we have here? Some money. Some more money. The clouds above the cliff of the North Weald reflect the iridescent surface of this pillar of Adra. Why is this... There we go. A winding stair hugs the cliff face, or cliffside, providing an impressive view of your work as you work your way higher and higher. Not too far along the path, however, you find you have your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen onto the road and from somewhere up above, and it now sits squarely in your way. Examine the area. The boulder is nearly flush with the cliff face, preventing you from passing by on the other side. Along the edge of the cliff, however, there is a narrow space just wide enough to follow across to the other side. The boulder's landing has crushed the steps beneath it, however. Okay. Use a hammer and chisel to clear the way. Chiseling out the boulder proves a slow and wearying endeavor, especially when several sections of the boulder prove too hard to carve through, forcing you to aim elsewhere. However, after a long while, your efforts pay off, and a section of the boulder splits away. You hear the echoing clatter of the rocks tumbling down the side of the cliff. The sound seems to stir something overhead. A shadow crosses the path, quick as lightning, and vanishes before you can catch a glimpse of what has cast it. But you do see the rapidly growing silhouettes of several more rocks, flung down at you from above. Scrambling to action, the party ducks under a small rocky protrusion along the cliff face, but Kana stumbles and is left just short of the shelter. A sudden hailstorm of fist-sized rocks and scattered debris rain down upon them. Battered and bruised, Kana leaps the final distance to safety. After a short while, the thundering rumble of falling stones fades away. Your ordeal past, you continue your climb, and the rest of the journey proceeds without incident. At last, you find yourself at the base of a final twisting set of steps, above which you can see the towering pillars of Hylia's Rest. Oh, so we just went to the next map. Oh, well then. Was not expecting that. Was not expecting that. I thought it would be something else. I guess it's okay. We can do this next now anyway. If I rested right here, would that trigger the thing? Or do I have to go all the way up there? What happened to you? -2 intellect, -2 resolve, -4 constitution. I mean, we might as well sleep, right? Yeah, let's rest. We're about to fight a dragon, which is a beast, right? I think. Okay. Rest. And see if the bow automatically levels up. That'd be great. Aha! Awesome. All soulbound upgrades are completed. It grants crackling bolt twice per rest. Nice. Alright. Let's read this. This bow is as smooth and light as driftwood, yet as hard as a sturdy mast. It feels warm in your hands, as if one of its previous owners had just passed it to you. As you hold it, you can almost feel the sea spray on your cheeks, and hear storm-whipped waves in your ears. Once, Stormcaller belonged to a young navigator on a merchant ship in the Deadfire Archipelago. She had an almost preternatural gift for predicting the weather. She could smell a storm brewing a day's journey away. On her final voyage, she detected a cyclone forming in her path. Their path. She instructed the captain to change course and seek shelter in a nearby strait, which he did. Unfortunately, a pirate ship was waiting there. The merchant vessel was boarded and its crew slain. A lookout on the pirate ship, grinning Marilina, took Stormcaller from the captured merchant ship. She used Stormcaller to fire on enemy ships from the crow's nest, while the Marilina approached. He could set flame to enemy sails or peg fleeing ships with rope arrows. However, when the captain began to look with envy on the marvelous bow, he jumped ship, sold Stormcaller, and became a fisherman. Stormcaller eventually found its way to Fairhope, a port town on one of the easternmost islands of the Deadfire Archipelago. Fairhope found itself besieged when the harbor master turned away the Seafang, a notorious pirate ship. The harbor master stationed archers on the cliffs around town, and while their arrows kept the Seafang from docking, they couldn't drive the pirate ship away. As a result, the Seafang prowled just out of range of the archers' arrows, close enough to discourage merchants and supply ships. As the siege stretched on, the harbor master called for more archers, promising a reward to any who could land an arrow on the Seafang. One young Glamfelon came forward, but the harbor master saw her hunting bow. He laughed, explaining that she'd need a top-quality longbow at the least, but she insisted. And when the harbor master led her to the cliff, she called a storm that struck the Seafang and churned the waves around it. The harbor master watched as the Seafang sank before his eyes. When the wreck washed ashore, the Glamfelon drew Stormcaller and plunked an arrow into the broken mast. Nice. Outsmarted him. Okay, we are going to end the episode here, guys. In the next one, we'll be taking on a Sky Dragon, but we now have a fully powered bow, so we'll be able to kick its ass, I think. Hopefully. We'll see. It could be, maybe not. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.